I have depression. It's not that I'm sad, but it's not that I'm not sad either. A lot of the times when people say that they're depressed, they actually mean that they're down or that they're a little bit sad or blue. That is not at all what I mean when I say I'm depressed. I actually suffer from depression. It's not a matter of being sad for a little while. It's actually hopeless. It's actually not motivated. A lot of people say that depression is like you're drowning and everybody else around you is breathing just fine and they're looking down at you while you're struggling and trying to breathe and just saying, just breathe. Depression is kind of like that, but it's not just a matter of not being able to breathe. It's a matter of not being able to think right. It's not being able to function. It's not being able to hope. I mean, depression is different for everybody, but for me personally, it's not wanting to eat, not sleeping properly, not being able to do simple tasks like do the dishes or brush my damn teeth. Depression is not being able to write a sentence in a journal entry, even if you need to get something off your chest. Depression is a lot more than just being sad. And there's a lot of jokes out there where people make fun of having crippling depression. Well, it's not a joke. Depression can be crippling. I, for one, wish it wasn't. I wish depression was as simple as popping a pill and everything would be fine. I wish depression was as simple as writing an affirmation that you're happy and becoming happy. I wish depression could go away. I wish it could be cured. I wish it could be cured just by going outside and looking at trees and breathing. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Instead, it is like everybody around you is watching you drown. Depression is feeling hopeless and worthless, even though everybody around you says that you're not. Everybody around you is saying that you're a great person, you're a great friend, you're an amazing lover. But depression is when you personally believe with all of your heart that you're not. And I wish it had a cure. Depression isn't always crying. It's not always not being able to eat or eating too much even. I mean, it fluctuates. Depression fluctuates. It's never a constant. Depression is the constant that isn't a constant. If that makes any sense. It's a constant in the sense that it's always there. It's always hovering over you. It's always whispering in your ear how worthless you are and how bad you are at life. And it's not a constant in the sense that it doesn't always show up in the same type of patterns. Depression comes in the form of scars on an arm, comes in the form of cutting all your hair off, comes in the form of buying too much makeup or never buying makeup again, depending on what you like. Depression is a big shadow that just will not leave you alone. And no matter what you do to escape that shadow, no matter how much light you turn on in a room, it's always there. It's always reminding you, hey, you're a little worthless today. Depression comes in the form of suicide. Depression comes in the form of homicide. Depression is a mental illness that is not taken very seriously. Depression can be a major disability. Depression is haunting. It's crippling. It can be very, very crippling. And not a lot of people understand that. And then you have people all over the internet making it into a fad, saying that, oh, I have crippling depression, tee-hee-hee-hee. I mean, there's one thing to make light of your own depression. I mean, I do it all the time. I mean, I always make fun of the fact that I do have crippling depression. But then there's people out there who make fun of it because they're a little bit sad and they call it depression. Depression isn't just sadness. Depression is lacking. It strips away everything. And it has no limits either. It has no gender, it has no sexuality preferences. It just bombards whenever, whoever. And some of us get it a lot more frequently than most. It took me a little while to gather up the courage to actually make something like this. It's okay to admit that you are not okay, and I'm not okay. I mean, I'm not in danger of hurting myself or anything like that. I'm not planning anything. I mean, I've come close to suicide and I've attempted suicide so many times. It gets to a point where you're too depressed to try anymore because you're just going to fail at it. But in the end, I'm grateful that I failed at it because I met an amazing guy. I have amazing friends. I have a wonderful mom and a great sister and a brother I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. But when it comes to depression makes me feel like that even maybe sometimes they don't care. Logically, I know they care. I know in my heart that they totally care. Everybody that I come to about it cares. I know that. Any therapist I've ever had has genuinely cared. Except for maybe one. But that's a whole different story. Anybody I've come to with my depression has taken me seriously. But, as depression does, I was made to believe that nobody cared. And that's just what depression does. The point of this video, I don't know. Maybe it's just to upload something. Maybe it's just to talk and get stuff off my chest. Maybe it's just to admit that I have a problem and taking the first step to recovery or something like that. But whatever my case is right now, I'm hoping that this video reaches someone in a good way to, spread the message a little bit that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall apart once in a while. It's okay to, you know what? I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but it's okay to be suicidal. It's okay to have these thoughts. I mean, it doesn't make you a freak. I mean, it's not okay to act upon it. It's really not okay to hurt yourself. Definitely not okay to hurt yourself, but it's okay to have these thoughts that naturally come and go. That's part of depression. It's part of not being okay. It's part of that flaw that a lot of people have. And I guess I'm just trying to say you're not alone because I get those thoughts too. I'm not really sure what else to say, but just remember that it's fine to not be okay. You're depressed right now. You're depressed right now. You have a condition that makes you very, very miserable, that hurts you, that affects people around you, and you can't help it. But it's okay. It's 100% okay. And everything does get better. I mean, no, the depression won't be cured. It won't go away forever, even though I wish it would. I mean, imagine how much greater life would be without any type of negative. But in the end, I guess sometimes the negative is what makes the positive that much brighter. It makes it more special, I guess. It's okay to not be okay.